And boom! Welcome back to the Fat Earth Comedy Cast. We got episode 29 coming at you. I'm surprised we're still on the air. My name is Mo Fungus, and the barnacle attached to my ass, Big Jimbo Detroit. How's it going, my man?
What up, Doe? Got myself a little hangnail infection battling on my index, or next to my index. I'm not good at finger labels, but this
Yeah,
thing is fucking making me forget about my other nine fingers. I'll tell you that much.
right. Well, it's a disgusting fucking thing, and I wouldn't expect anything less besides from our disgusting asses.
I picked this thing down to the fucking bone and then kept going, and
Man, you're
three
living
days
like
later,
Dr. Anxiety over there, nibbling away.
3 days later, baby, she's
Jesus.
just red Fred.
All right. Well, we lost every viewer so far, but we're going to try and get them back here. We're talking high school stories once again.
All right, baby. I did more than one stupid thing during that day and age, so yeah.
Well, back in the day when I was living at Opal, when I was playing in a band and shit, I was always trying to create stuff. I just didn't know what avenue I was going to create it with, so I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and a lot of the stuff was high school stories, and I didn't find my book. I just found it in my cupboard deep down, and I opened this thing up, and there's some really good stories in here because I was actually going to do a collection of short stories from my high school days. This one's
Uh,
called the Slam Dunk Contest.
all right, we've named it.
Oh, I got
Ca-
names for all these bad boys in here.
All right, I'm
So
gonna start coming up with
catchy names.
catchy names.
All right, so we got the Slam Dunk Contest. So we were going to school, Grosse Pointe North. I think this was around 2000 and maybe even 2000, around the Halloween of 2000. We knew these two twin girls. They were pretty good looking chicks. We were pretty good friends with them. They always would have little get-togethers at their house down in their basement. And once again, it was this weird thing where a lot of these parties we went to, their parents were home, but the house was so big. I think the parents like just felt all right about being upstairs. We would smuggle all kinds of shit into this thing, but so we went to the party, or actually before we even went, we called the chicks and they're like, "You have to wear a costume or my mom will definitely not let you in." So we're like, "All right, this is becoming a pain in my ass because when you're in high school, some kids got into that shit, other kids didn't give a damn." Did you wear stuff? Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
I had and this isn't my story or anything, but I had what I called Fun Friday, and every Friday it's senior year this is, I didn't give a fuck about my grades at that point. My whole thing was class clown shit. And I
Hmm.
would wear something goofball in. I wore Tarzan outfits where I'd have no underwear on underneath and just a fucking thing that my friend's mom made me for our senior day that was Fred
Yeah.
Flintstone esque with my armpit hair out and everything. So yes, I was a wear dude. If someone told me wear a costume, I'd be like, oh fuck yeah, which one should I wear?
Big Jim on top and little Jim's dangling down below. But no, well, okay, so my go-to costume, we were into fucking like fish and stuff, and a lot of the kids that went to North, they were more Italian, greasy Italians, they called them. They were more into the hip hop and things like that. So me and my little group of buddies, although we were part of the bigger, like the popular group, we were kind of more of an offshoot where we did our own things. We were ourselves. We didn't give a fuck. We didn't want to try and fit in. Anyway, so I would be wearing fish shirts to school anywhere, anyways, and a lot of times I would wear like ripped jeans and stuff like that. So first thing that came to my mind, I had a Grateful Dead tie dye. I grabbed that thing, put on the old ripped jeans, and boom, you're a hippie. So I had my costume ready to rock. Okay, my one friend, we were over at his house and we were gonna walk from his house over to these girls' houses, which he lived over by like Liggett area, and the girls' house was over by Ferry. So we get the call, you gotta have a costume. My one boy, we called him Sick Boy, and because he was one graphic son of a bitch. Anyways, so he's like, "Fuck it, I'll find something on the way there." And now to me, it didn't make any sense. What do you mean you're gonna find something on the way to walking to this girl's house? What are you gonna find out in nature, bro? But this kid was the most creative delinquent you've ever met. So we're walking there, and he just starts grabbing big ash branches with full of leaves, and it's like it's the fall time in Michigan, so all the leaves are falling down. We're grabbing branches with dead leaves all over them and shit. And this kid just starts taping them to his body. He goes, "I'm going as a tree, man." So he just starts taping them to his body. He
Found
loads,
it.
yeah, found it. Of course, it's the only costume you're gonna get out in nature, a tree. So by the time we get to this girl's house, he's got probably like 20 nice thick branches of dead leaves. We walk into the house. What's the mom gonna say? The costume actually was bad the fuck ass because he was surrounded by this whole thing. You couldn't even see in through the leaves. He was the tree. He became the tree. So like the mom, like if I saw a kid come into my house with all these fucking leaves, I'm like, you're not coming in. But the mom demanded costume. We delivered on the costume, right? So we go in. And my buddy is just, there's leaves falling everywhere. Like he's walking down the basement, there's shit coming off of him, and they're the dead leaves. So you step on him, it crushes into a million little pieces. This fucking guy's making a mess. He's coming down the stairs, and when we get down in down into the basement, everybody looks at him and they all start cheering. They all start coming up, giving him hugs and shit. And by the time this fucking kid gave his hellos, half the leaves were on the ground. And the whole fucking basement was just covered in a pile of leaves that were getting crunched up by buzzed up freshmen. So
Human pig pen, dude, coming in
yeah,
with
human
fucking
pig pen.
debris falling off behind them.
This guy was notorious for these costumes though. That was probably the beginning of these eccentric costumes. But we actually had our other buddy Chuck build him a fucking out. This kid went as an outhouse one year. He literally had Chuck build him a full room of 2x4s and shit, and he went into this thing. You can't see him. There's a real door. It weighed like 100 pounds. I don't even know how this fucking kid did this shit. A full wooden structure. He had to you have to have a truck to transport it, which he did. And then he put it on, and he was a full outhouse, dude. It was unbelievable. Anyways, that was years later, and this kid, he got the reputation as being the kid with the crazy costumes, kind of like what you were up to. So
All
we're down
right.
in the basement. We're down in the basement. We're having some pops. My buddy's costume's pretty much ruined at this point, so he just he threw the rest of the shit on the ground, and now you got sticks and leaves all over your basement. Next time, don't demand the costume, all right? Let us be who we are, and you won't have this mess now. So
They
we're
didn't make that mistake twice, I
no,
promise
no,
you.
I know. I don't think we were invited back after this escapade. So this family had some good dough, and they were the two girls were the eldest. They were twins. Then they had a younger sister, and then they had younger brothers who were twins. So they had two sets of twins in this family, and the parents were pretty wealthy. I think the dad was a lawyer or something. They had they had a foreign exchange college student that lived with them in the basement, and she would take care of all the younger kids. You know, I don't know what they call those, like an au pair or something. But okay, they had a foreign exchange student in the basement. She was, 18, 19, perfect age. So me and Sick Boy we get the liquid courage to go into her bedroom and just start talking. We were chit-chatting with her. We were talking her up, and we were pretty much just making making light jokes of her accent. You know what I'm saying? We were really playing the game before we read the book. We were tickling we were tickling the game. And it was working, baby. It was working. We had this girl eating out of the palms of our hands. So I don't even really remember how it went down, but I know one of the girls that owned the house came in and had to like break it up because me and my buddy were about to get frisky with this chick, this foreign exchange student. So I remember one of the daughters comes in and she's like, "You can't talk to these guys." Like she literally cock blocked us, which again, I don't know why the younger girl is cock blocking the 19-year-old foreign exchange student. Just because you're from a different country doesn't mean you don't have your own wits to you.
Oh, she didn't want that fucking tail roaming through the halls on Monday.
Well,
She
it's
didn't.
rolling now, baby.
She didn't want to be known as the girl who Kevin and Stinkpile. What's his name?
Sick boy.
She didn't want to be known as the girl that Sick Boy and Fungus
Yeah,
banged
that's
their foreign
bad.
exchange student roommate. She goes, "I got ambitions. That ain't on it."
Right, right, right. So she comes in, breaks it up, and we looked at each other. We go, "All right, well, we had a run at it. It was a valiant effort, if you will. But now we're getting bored." So their basement was actually divided into two sections. One area was like a sitting room with a TV and a couch and that kind of stuff, a table. And then the back room was it had like a tile floor and they had a bunch of video games, air hockey, and then they had one of those old school well not I guess not old school, but one of those uh free throw machines where you shoot free throws at. And me and my buddy Nick were like, "All right, let's do this." So we start shooting hoops and we're having fun. We're drinking brew. We're actually puffing too. And the way you can smoke bud in their basement is you would take a hit and then you would go into the closet and you would blow the hit out, which probably didn't do anything because you're
I'm
smoking
gonna
it.
need you guys to zero this. I used to love that conversation, and let me get my Wookie. And you're also gonna have to zero this. I was always like, "Oh, I'm totally up for this competition." You mean I don't exhale this? That's
Right,
probably why
right.
my lungs are built for COVID-19 so well, because I just was practicing by holding weed hits in aggressively long.
That's what my one uncle used to say because they called him the hash man. We would blow the hits out real quick, and he's like, "You're wasting it. You're wasting it." It's like, relax, buddy. There's enough to go around. This isn't the fucking poverty days. There's plenty of bud.
I like
So,
this guy.
what's funny is the girls that live there, they actually had like they respected us. They knew we were like stoners and stuff, but we were the only people that were actually allowed. They knew we were smoking in there, and they told us we could. Because I would be like, I smoke at with my mom upstairs all the time. I've never been caught. And they're like, oh, okay, you know what you're doing. So we would take the hit and we would pop in the other room, blow it into this closet. That comes into play in a little bit here. So we're at the free throw machine. We're shooting hoops. We're drinking brew. We're puffing. And it's a good time at first, but it's not that good of a time. What we want to do is maybe do a couple of dunks.
You're trying
So
to
this
turn it up a notch.
Yeah, so this thing escalated to us just shooting free throws to actually trying to dunk.
Well, I mean, to your credit, the NBA skills competition's great, but without the dunk competition, are you really tuning in?
Yeah. It's a good feeling to sink a three, but it's an even better, cooler feeling to dunk.
Well, we're short white guys, of course. Like we're not
Right.
gonna go into a gymnasium and ever get that feeling, just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Remember at your buddy's place, we would always lower their basketball hoops in their backyard like to like 5 feet so we can do spinning fucking jumps.
it was always disappointing when you got to your buddy's house, especially when it was a new family purchase, and you're like, "Oh shit, dude, you guys got the backboard you can't even lower to 5'5". What the fuck?"
Yeah, you go, this is regulation. The thing's towering over you. You can't
You
even
go,
fathom how the
I
pros
want
do it.
the mini ball with the mini net, my friend.
And we had it in her basement. We had both of those. So now the slam dunk contest begins against me versus Sick Boy. And we really weren't looking for form. We were really looking for more destruction. So the first couple of dunks, like I said, were just us dunking the ball. Then we started incorporating other things like chips and peanuts into the mix. So what we would do, I called it the cruncher. So I would fill my mouth up with chips and fucking peanuts and shit, and then I would crunch it all up. Then in midair, while I was spinning, I would fucking spit the shit all over the place, and then you dunk. So you got to be able to do two things at once, folks. Two things at once.
Yeah, these were the trusted weed smokers they've given full discretion to the basement closet with. They go, "We can trust you. You sound like you know what you're doing." 10
Right.
minutes later.
And this is the back in the this we thought we were having I mean we thought this was legendary shit at the time. Now I look back, I go, this is fucking moronic. But so I did the cruncher, and then my buddy Sick Boy answered right back with the fucking spray master where he filled his mouth up with brew, did a 360 and did a nice garden hose type fucking blast around and around.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be outdone by the cruncher.
Oh no, no, no! This kid would never be outdone. If there's one thing you knew about Sick Boy, he would run. This fucking guy would work so hard just to get you back. Him and my buddy Dave used to wrestle, and my buddy Dave he's a bigger guy. He's actually kind of built like Jimbo is. And Sick Boy is a fucking string bean small kid, and he would wrestle this kid to the fucking death sometimes, bro. He would never give up. He would always have to win. There was something built into him that would make him prevail to win.
I promise you the nickname says it all, and there's no way I'm fucking with them because I know the revenge is going to be tenfold. So,
Right, right, right.
Sick Boy's back. All right.
All right, so we did the basketballs, we did the cruncher, we did this whatever the spray master. We had to up the game. So it's just not going to work with just the ball.
Idiots.
So we were looking around for different types of objects that would fit into the fucking net. We found a bowl. We found some other. We found like some little fucking toys that are from her, or her brothers and shit. Nothing was really working out for us. I think the cruncher was I think that was at the pinnacle right there. That was the big boy. So we're smoking bud and we go into the fucking closet to blow out our hit again, and that's where I see it, man. The vacuum cleaner. So
Ah,
like a fucking vision from God, a light blasts right on the vacuum cleaner. I go, this is how I'm gonna take it all home. So I take the vacuum cleaner, and sure enough, I do my 360 smash, and I fucking jump into this thing, and the whole thing collapses underneath me, bro. I fucking
weird.
destroyed. Destroyed the whole fucking game. But
This thing wasn't designed for this kind of ruckus. I'm fucking mystified.
no, I'm surprised that the vacuum cleaner, dude. I mean, come on, these kids must have been off their rockers. Let's slam dunk a vacuum cleaner. It makes absolutely no sense. The hole has nowhere near the velocity for that.
Welcome to Dunham Sporting Goods, home of the total fucked up Friday night party dunk contest.
I'm just checking my notes here to make sure that there's nothing really more to it. But because I'm pretty sure after that dunk was made, we were thrown out. And then the only time we were ever even allowed back to this girl's house was when the parents weren't home, which those always make for a better time anyway.
So was it a parent throw out or was it the kid of the home throw out?
No, well, it
There's a
was
difference.
I think that the whole party just got broken up. I don't think that we were singled out by any means, but if you did look at the basketball hoop when we left it, it was in shambles. It was all busted up into pieces because we literally had to jump in to where the netting was to even get to the hoop. So that thing was all fucked up from the first slam dunk.
I see. I pictured that had been moved and pushed to where it was now just the backboard, but no,
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 we're
that was
getting it live,
connected.
folks.
That was connected.
They were jumping over the net that brings the ball back to you on the rebound.
So that's the slam dunk contest. It was a good time. It was a good Halloween party, and the, I'll never forget his costume. That thing was fucking hilarious. Guy so up with
Were
a
made
leaf.
friends with the young lady, or it was catastrophic damage in
No, no,
friendship
no.
at school?
They were so nice. Like they were really cool. They never even again. I don't think we even got busted for it. I think it was the whole party as a whole that got reprimanded and broken up because this party was getting out of control. Again, if you went in the other room, there was like massive piles of leaves being crunched up. Shit was everywhere. The whole house was destroyed from
Yeah,
us and from other people. You know how those things go.
yeah, yeah. I witnessed a couple. Never really partook. It wasn't really my thing. And the worst I did was I put a packed bowl in the. It was near Christmas time, and there was some nutcrackers and elves up on the
Yeah.
mantle. And I
Nice.
made sure when I left that the bowl that was in the living room that wasn't mine was packed. And actually, no, it was a tinfoil bowl. And
Oh yeah, those are the good
I
old
left the
days.
remnants with good old Elf there holding it for Christmas morning.
Elf on a shelf. This guy's getting high now. But there is one thing I forgot to mention before this episode started. I do want to give a shout out to all our fans and listeners. We have passed the 1,000 hour mark for the year. And if we continue down this road, we will be monetized. We will be making nickels and cents by the end of the fucking year. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Keep watching these podcasts. We got other stuff coming up. We got a dab video. We got some other things in the works. So again, thanks everybody for watching us and just keep it up. We appreciate it.
Good. I'm glad you let me know. I didn't know either, and that's awesome. I know we were shooting for 1,000 hours viewed. Sounds sickening to me who's watching us for that long, but fuck yeah. And thank you. And we're definitely keeping it up. We're doing it for this year to see where we're at. And that's our first goal was 1,000 hours, baby. So
Boom. Yeah, that'll be more of a gauge instead of the 100 videos. I think after this year, we can kind of see where we're at, see what's the
yeah,
response is. We get really good response for the dab videos. We we didn't really think him too hard. You know, we didn't think about him too hard. We didn't put too much uh pre-production into him like we do with the music videos and things like that. But hey, if you like them, you like them.
Well, bottom line, like everything on YouTube, if you get into the algorithm in the right way, and somehow we've snuck up there with 4 of those videos where they're climbing each day, that's sweet. So check them out; they're pretty sweet. I like filming them for sure.
Yeah, beautiful. What do you got? What do you got on your palette there, big boy?
Well, since we're talking high school stories, I figured I'd go to the one that in my journal is labeled "The Hand Job Heard Round the World."
No, that's
Uh,
amazing because I have one called the blow job, the first blow job.
well, the hand job heard around the world was supposed to turn into the following night, the blow job we all know about, but this story is why it went awry. And it was
I love it. Let's hear.
so I was friends with I had my buddy, and then there was this girl I was attracted to who he's actually dating.
What's his
But
first name? We can give a little tidbits here.
yeah, well, so they're I don't want to do all that. They'll probably come out naturally, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. I know I wanted to make sure I did not let any of these names slip.
And I didn't pry you, so I was surprised that was the first question thrown out of the bazooka. But so, uh, okay, so I'm talking to this girl too, and she was kind of known. She had kind of gotten around. She had that reputation coming. This is freshman year, 1996. She had already had that reputation when she came to South that if you just talk nicely, you're gonna get some.
You was a hero.
Yeah. So but not why I liked her. I actually did like her. I thought she was cool, and we chilled out and whatever. We would hang out. But she calls me. Um,
Well, you've always been known as the Richard Gere type. You're trying to save
I'm a
the
savior,
prostitute.
baby. So maybe that did play. Maybe that was the role. I didn't even think of that. But so calls me one day. My mom's going to Eastland. Got the Eastland. Like that's the whole thing. Like she wasn't going to this big function or something. I didn't know how long she'd be gone, but she's going to Eastland. She's getting a ride there with her girlfriend, going with her fiance or something.
Yeah.
I get a call. You got to call the house phone. I was thinking I got a text her or something, but no, hell no. This is freshman year, so I get
Old school, baby.
old school baby. Called the house. What up? How you doing? Hey, you want to hang out? Well, yeah, but I'm not riding my bike all the way over to the park. Well, no, you said your mom's going to Eastland. Yeah, yeah, my mom's going to Eastland. You know how to drive. I'd already got a little reputation that I knew how to drive late nights sneaking out, and I
Hmm.
had taken my mom's car a couple times, several times, many times by then already. Late
Well, let me
night.
clarify. This is after you've been thrown out of your dad's house.
This is what led to me being
Oh.
thrown. This is the last night I slept at my mother's house.
Never mind. I had it backwards. You were thrown out of the mom's house, which is usually the case.
But this isn't that. This is at 11 a.m. All right. So this is midday. I take the white minivan because the promise on the phone is I will give you a hand job if you take your mom's van and come pick me up, and we go get some cigarettes and stuff from Mr. A or what was it on Warren, East Warren we would go to, and they would sell to
Mm.
underage sunshine something. Anyways, go there, get some cigarettes, and then I'll give you a hand job. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's fucking good offer. I'm like, all right. I'll text you. I'll honk when I'm out front. Out front.
Right.
I take my mom's car, go over there. All goes as planned. We go get the cigarettes. We meet up with some other friends. They're like, how the fuck are you driving? I'm like, what up, though? They get a cigarette order in there because like it was a hot commodity that we were going by car to get
Right.
cigarettes at
Time to
14.
load up, folks.
You know, we were getting cigars. I got 6 packs of cigarettes and 3 packs of cigars. I'm coming back. Well, at that point, the young lady jumps on my lap. We leave the cigarette store. We're driving down Waterloo in Grosse Pointe. And I'll never forget, I'm looking out the window. She jumps from the passenger seat onto my lap. And I'm looking out the window like this, driving. There's a small curve in the road. And I look out the window and I go, God damn, life's fucking great. And
Right.
and she goes, oh my God. And she's looking straight ahead. I'm looking out the fucking window driving. I turn. I'm like, what? And the last thing I see is the curb. I'm like flinging the steering wheel like this, and we're side swiping a tree, and her ping ponging around the front of the car,
Yeah.
front seats. She dusts herself up. I see the hubcap rolling down the street. I'm on this person's front lawn. This mom walks out on a cordless phone, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, "We're totally fine. Holy shit, sorry. Totally fine." I run for the hubcap. I grab the hubcap. I pick it up. As I turn around, literally, she was calling the cops. A cop just happened to be making his rounds right there, pulls right there, comes around the corner at a stop sign. "How you guys doing? Everybody okay?" I'm like, "Everyone's all right. I just wasn't paying attention. I jumped the curb." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Cool." He's like, "No big deal. I'm glad everyone's all right." He's like, "That's fine. It's just a simple accident. License and registration." I go, "Well, that's where it's not going to be so
Yeah.
simple."
That's where the problem lies, my friend.
He goes, "What's going on?" I go, "I'm 14." He goes, "Oh, man. Why don't you get in the back seat then?"
Yeah, I
Keep
don't
in
have
mind,
that stuff. Never
this
had that stuff.
this 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 young lady's mom is also a teacher at South. Keep in mind, so pretty stupidity of who I'm doing this with.
Let's
Anyways,
get these last names going. Everybody's curious.
we both go to everyone that knows me knows this story. That's why it's heard wild in the world. So I I go to fucking we go to the park police or Grosse Pointe City Police, one of them. They put us both in the same cell. Oh, on the way that before we got there, I grabbed all the cigarettes, keep in mind, out of the car because I was petrified I was going to get caught with all of these cigarettes in this car. And
Because
I
everybody knows the more cigarette by the weight is how much is what you get in trouble for with cigarettes, dude. This guy had a pound of cigarettes. He's going to fucking
14, I'm
jail.
freaking out. I shoved them all into the cop car.
Wow.
Literally, I shoved them all in between the seats of the cop car, just one after another, and I had this young lady helping me.
You're an entrepreneur, man. You don't want to lose your
Go shove
product.
these down in there. Oh, I never got it back. It's not like I could go through the car after, but at least I didn't get caught with them. So uh, we're in the cell, and my mom doesn't answer. She's at Eastland, so they called the house. I told her the number I told them to call, and nobody answers. She's out and about. They leave like 6 voice messages, and caller ID had just come out. My mom tells the story to this day how she knew before she even heard the message because she saw this phone number and it was like Grosse Pointe. She said, "James isn't home. James got arrested."
Well,
And,
wasn't her car missing too? So,
well, she didn't know that yet. The
uh,
first message that when she found out the car was missing, when she was listening to the first voicemail, they said your car is not in your garage or something like that. And she opened the garage and said, "What are you talking about? My son's not here and the car's not here." And she opened the garage. She goes, "Oh my God."
yep. It's all
Uh,
crashing down now.
she called my dad and they headed up to the police station to pick me up. Lauren's parents got there first, though. So they let Lauren's mom, this teacher at South that already knew me as this little troublemaker, have a good old 5 minutes alone with me in this jail cell, just talking to me about how big a piece of shit I was to drag her daughter into this mess and all this shit. And out of respect, I just sat there silently, just like, okay.
I was arrested twice, and I'm surprised they actually put you in a cell. They usually just made us sit in these chairs,
This was one of those they were trying to like
scare you
scare me.
straight.
Yep, scared straight. That was exactly what they were doing because they went like full bore on this. Okay,
Right.
handcuffs, everything. So they leave, right? The young lady leaves with her parents, and I'm just waiting there by myself. A couple hours later, my parents show up, which feels like 3 days, because you're sitting there like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
I
I'm
remember that
so
feeling, dude.
fucked. So
Yeah.
my mom and dad bail me out, and they're driving me home. My mom's like, "You can't stay with me anymore. This is so much you've been doing. I can't believe in the middle of the day you took my car." And my dad's like, "Well, what's the story?" And I'm like, "This chick like called me and said we could hook up or something, if he goes, I knew it. He goes, it's always women. He goes, these
Yeah.
women will get you to do stupid things, James. You can't listen." To my mom sitting there and she's like, "What?" She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"No,
I love this.
no, you got to defend your own actions." She's like,
Uh-huh.
"It sounded stupidity from the start. Why did you go?" I was like, and he's like, "Women make you do that kind of stuff." And I'm like
Trying to get
loving
some
this. I was like,
pussy.
but I
Trying
go,
to get a little pussy.
I can't stay at your house. I go, holy shit. I go, well, be dead honest, I wasn't really ready to be out on the street. And my dad goes, no, you idiot. He turns around and goes, no, idiot. You're coming to my house. I go,
Yeah.
oh, fucking jackpot. I go,
I just
really?
got a couple of ghosts to deal with that over there.
He goes, it's a punishment. He goes, that's the punishment. I said, okay. I said, I understand. I said, that's bad. He said, the state is so mad at you that you're 14 and you took this car and you crashed it. We're not even going to punish you. Your punishment is going to be in the form of what comes in the mail because the officers of the law already told us that you're in big water and a ticket's coming in the mail. You have to pay it on your own. That's a fair punishment. I accept that.
What was
So
it,
I
reckless driving or something?
well, that gets better. So, but before that comes in the mail, the following night, now my dad drops my mom off and we go to the shore club. So my dad didn't buy a house in Grosse Pointe yet because he didn't plan on me moving in with him. This was all in a hot Saturday afternoon. So I had to live for the first half of South there after this. I was taking the bus from 9 Mile to school and home, or sometimes my dad give me a ride, but depend. But ultimately, so now the next night at the shore club, she calls. Same girl.
Oh,
Me
you're
being
a
the
you're a bad boy now. She's gonna fucking blow you.
well, the offer got better.
That's what
So
I'm talking about. Oh, I love
so
it. Holy shit.
I can't come get you. Are you crazy? You see how much trouble this got me in? Look at what I did. I'm at my dad's now. I got kicked out of my mom's. I'm living at my dad's. I'll give you a blowjob.
If
Give me
you steal
30.
a motorcycle, I'll suck your dick.
Give me 30 minutes. My dad's passing out. I'm gonna grab his keys.
Oh my god, dude, this is
So,
getting stupider.
well, the bonehead I am, take my dad's car, sneak out. Sunday night, okay? That was Saturday during the day. This is Sunday night. I have school Monday morning. This is Sunday night. All right, I'm going to get my blowjob. Hey, mind if we pick up my girlfriend? Absolutely. Let's fucking do this. All right. But before we do that, we go to my mom's to make do on this offer. Okay. I take her to my mom's, not a park, not make out nook or some
Yeah.
mountain in the movies. I take her to my mom's house, park my dad's car out front on Prestwick, and we go on the back porch and start hooking up on the back deck.
Classy.
5 minutes into this, actually, her girlfriend is with us. I picked her up. Her girlfriend's sitting in like the corner over by my neighbors as we're hooking up, making do on this offer. It was fucking 14-year-old creep shit. So
Yeah, yeah.
lights in my mom's house flick on as we're in the middle of hooking up. And I'm like, holy shit, get up. So we run off. She's like, I left my sandal. I'm like, fuck. She's like, it's a Birkenstock. I'm like, fuck, man. We can't fucking go back. We run to my dad's car. We get in, we peel off as my mom's turning on the front porch light, opening the door and going, you forgot your sandal, James. I'm like,
Yeah,
is
it's
my
you're
mom
not her
just,
problem anymore. She's done.
I go, is that my mom just calling my name? These two girls don't know, right? So we go, we hang out, we have some drinks because we had all brought some beer out or some liquor. We made mixed drinks before we go out on these little late night excursions.
Bacardi Limon.
About 1 in the morning, we're hanging out in the park, hanging out on the break wall, hanging out, jumping fences, all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
Go home for the night. I get home, park my dad's car, come up in the 9 Mile tower there. Doors just how I left it. All the lights are off, just everything how I left it. Crink open. I see this dark silhouette just looking out into the Lake St. Clair with his arms folded,
Pondering.
with his arms folded, just looking out into the 3 a.m.
The
sky.
abyss.
As his son comes home one day after totaling his mom's van with his car now at 14 years old, and he's got school the next day. And I go, Dad, is that you? He goes, and he does the famous dad line. He goes, I'm just disappointed. And
Uh-huh.
I go, fuck, I messed up, I think.
That's what those apartments are for, is to be able to stare out into the fucking sea and contemplate shit.
Well, I gave him enough material. This dude goes, how'd you get my keys? I go, well, I snuck in, grabbed them.
I fished them off your fucking your belt loop. This guy's he's like a
dude, I
master criminal.
janitored them.
See, I never did any shit like that, man. I felt too bad. Like we're gonna talk about these stories maybe in the next episode where I almost burned my garage down, but I lied to my mom about it and it made me ill for like a month. So I was
Yeah,
afraid to
yeah.
do shit. I don't know. This guy had the balls of steel. Or you called yourself a bonehead, but that's exactly what was happening. You were thinking with your bone,
Oh yeah, one hundred
you know?
percent. It was worth it. I still go to this day that I almost think it was worth it.
But did you come is the question. You never did you get the stuff or did you just get a pecking?
It led up to the following week where we had a couple cum sessions.
Right, right. Well, I was thinking, thank God she wasn't tugging you off when you swerved off the road, man. You could have fucking pulled something. That's what I
She
thought
was
you were
giving
gonna
me a
go, and
little
you're
lap dance. No,
ah, you're
it just
yelling when
made
you.
my head go. I love this, and I'm like, I love this, and I fucking just. To this day, I use it for personal knowledge on paying attention when you're driving. I literally had a
Yeah.
conversation with my dad this in the middle of the darkness of the living room where I said, "Man, I really learned though. I was a much better driver tonight, Dad. You'd be proud of me like that because I was paying attention the whole time."
Yeah, your BMW handles like a fucking animal.
Well, no. So then I go, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. I'm exhausted. So he
I'm
calls
drained
my
of all my fluids.
he calls my mom and he goes, James isn't feeling good. Uh, he doesn't really want to go to school. He had a long night. And my mom goes, if you don't fucking make him go to school, I'm gonna wig the fuck out. And she goes, he had a long night because he stole your car and came to my house. He's going to school, and I
Uh,
did have to go to school.
I had the same thing pulled on me because my parents were divorced, but going to live with my dad meant a whole new school, a whole new everything. So it was more of a threat.
Yeah, yeah. So my dad was super accommodating like that, and like I don't know, it was I ended up I lived super close to my mom and sister still. We had the guy's house, we had the girl's house, and as a family, we got together constantly. So it really, um, for a quote unquote punishment, it wasn't that bad. But so my punishment that came in the mail, a couple weeks later, I get this mail. Both my parents, it's a Saturday, my dad's picking me up from my mom's, and they both come in the kitchen. They're like, "You got it. Here it is. It's from the state of Michigan. Here's your punishment. Here's your ticket. Open it up. Let's see how bad it is." And I go, holy shit, guys. I was like, all right. I was like, sounds like this is my punishment. And my dad's like, what? And he goes, what is it? And it was if I did it again, if I received a ticket for underage driving one more time before the age of 18, or no, I'm sorry, before the age of getting my license, 16,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't get my driver's license till 18 and a $25 ticket. And I go,
Wow.
oh my God, I gave my mom
I've been roasted.
$25. I go, here you go. My dad goes, no, 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 no. He goes, this doesn't make any sense. He goes, you steal a car, you crash. And my mom's like, we should have said it was stolen. I told you.
Yeah.
I go, you bastards. I go, you trying to make this thing worse? I go, this is perfect. And
Yeah,
my
it's not
dad's
like
like,
you
we gotta,
stole the car. It's your parents' car. You didn't like
right,
crack into a car. I mean,
right,
this isn't
right.
Grand Theft Auto.
They could have, the cops tried to persuade him to go down that avenue, but
Right,
luckily my
right.
parents didn't. But yeah, that was the ramifications.
Usually
Stupidly,
your first offense, they tickle your ass with a feather before they spit in your face.
you said it best, though. I don't know if that was first offense, my friend, but you say it best. I think I was a known specimen, but
Yeah.
you said it best by saying that it wasn't the $25, or even if they would have grounded me or something, which what didn't actually happen. I would have um, had the punishment. The biggest punishment was like lying to them and the whole guilt and everything you feel after the fact. So
Yeah.
if you're genuine human, I think that's the case. Like you can always have ramifications like prison or bigger or less, but if you're a good soul, so it always fucked with me on that level. And they brought it up for about the first 10 Thanksgivings and Christmases. I was the butt end of the family jokes where,
Well, there's
hey
your roast
James,
part. Yeah, that's
James, you
fine.
want to go pick up some more ice? Oh shit, sorry, you're 15. Oh, actually, no. The punishment was a little larger. They did not let me get my driver's license till 18. So I didn't go till. So I was the little schmuck at South. I didn't have a car till the very end.
I didn't get my license till I was 16 either. But the whole point with me is, I
18.
had a single mother. Yeah, 18, and I wouldn't have had a car anyway, so it didn't matter if I had it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how cool is my dad? So at 18, I get my license. Then he goes, all right, you got to come down to Comerica Park. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not coming down there. I'm like, I'm busy as hell. He's like, get a ride down here. and I got to ride down there because I could tell in his voice how serious he was about it. And he had
Uh,
a fucking brand new, this was 2000, brand new 2000 Blazer sitting in the parking structure of the Tigers. And he goes, "Happy 18th." And he goes, "I'm glad you waited the extra 2 years like we asked you
yeah.
after you made that mistake." So it was all like super worthwhile. It was, or, like it had come tenfold by then. So,
I think kids should have to wait till they're 18 anyway. Fuck this 16.
I had a psychiatrist back then because when I got in that trouble, my parents were like flipped out. The psychiatrist literally goes, "How'd you know how to drive so well on a Saturday afternoon to pull this thing off?" And I go, "I've been driving since I was 8 years old. I go up north.
Right.
We go up north multiple times a year. My mom used to just constantly let me drive the minivan from the boat back to the cottage and everything with the family and everything, especially if they had been drinking.
Wait a
So
minute. This guy said, how did you know how to drive? Because you pulled it off so well? You fucking drove off the road, bro.
touche, but then the following night,
Well,
so
yeah, that's a different
but
story altogether.
the whole thing of the driving off the road was the full blown pure distraction limit of it. He wanted to know how I even got the car out of the driveway over there, bought smokes there,
Mm-hmm.
roundabout,
Yeah, you knew
and
your way around you knew your way around, that's for sure. This is the day before MapQuest, ladies and gentlemen.
the thing is, he also knew because he was asking me the questions. It wasn't the first time I had taken the car; like it was probably like the 25th. So,
Yeah.
so that his mind wasn't just okay. 2 hours into getting the car on a Saturday, you crashed it. It was how you been doing this. And I said, well, I've been driving for a long time up north. And he goes, well, that's what set the you down the wrong path in your brain. You thought it was all right because you were being allowed to do it up north. I go, nah, I knew it was
Yeah, he's
wrong
not
down
that
here.
stupid.
I,
Right.
I knew it was wrong, but it totally gave me an out. So like whenever my mom would get pissy about it, I go, listen, this guy says it was your fault anyways. Let me drive when I was 8 and 9.
So yeah, I'm gonna talk about how I had the same threat. I was sitting on my couch and I had one of those dugouts, the wooden dugouts with the bat in it, for smoking weed. And I was sitting on the couch and thing fucking just straight up fell out of my pocket. I think I was like 15 or something. And then I went in the basement. I was dicking around. I remember my mom came down and like stared at me, and I was like, "Wow, this lady's really getting weird now." Then I realized I didn't have the thing, and I'm searching everywhere. I go upstairs. I'm searching the couch, and she's just looking at me, giving me those evil scowls. And she's like, "All right, the next day we're gonna give you a drug test and stuff." And I just lied. I was like, I'm not smoking pot. I mean, they pretty much caught me red-handed, but I was like, I'm not smoking pot. I was holding that for a friend, this and that. So they're
That
like,
old tale.
we're gonna give you a drug test. I was like, oh geez. So I went to BDT, and I was obviously 15. You have to be 18 to buy this stuff. I remember asking like older people that would walk out of the store, please, will you buy me this? This it wasn't a thing you drink. It was an actual additive. You pour it into the urine. Um, Asking people. I mean, my heart was racing. Finally, some fucking guy went in there and bought it for me. I probably gave him like 5-10 bucks extra or something. So now I have the additive, and I know the test is the next day. And I'm sitting in my house, and I'm just thinking, and the guilt's fucking ravishing me, man. It's fucking making my stomach quake. I'm surprised I don't have an ulcer at this point, because like you said, I'm Dr. Anxiety. I worry about everything to a million times more than it needs to be. So I
He
picked the
doesn't
phone
have
up.
an ulcer, but he worries hard that he does. That's
Right,
Dr.
right, yeah,
Anxiety.
yeah, yeah.
Go on.
So I literally picked the phone up. I'm like, fuck this. There's nothing worth this anguish. So I call my dad up. I'm like, I'm gonna tell him, fuck it. My dad is cool. He smoked bud. He grew up in the '70s. You know what I'm saying? This guy was taking shit and going to see all those like Crosby, Stills, and all the good concerts back then. So I call him up, and he's not home. And I just take that as a sign. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going through with this thing. So I slept. I remember I slept with the little vial in my boxers because I had to take a pee right in the morning. It was gonna be the first piss right off the crack. And I only have one bathroom at my house. My mom wakes me up. I barely slept a wink. I got this little thing, this little vial of magic sitting in my little boxer rubber band area. I get up, and I'm still just so nervous, so anxietied. I'm living up to my name, hardcore here. So it's time to take the piss. I piss in the fucking the cup, and then I have to add the additive to it. and my fucking hands are shaking sack, dude. These things are quaking like a mother. I was so nervous, dude. So then I go to pour it. See if I can get this in screen. I go to pour this shit, and my hands are quaking so much that it's like if you read the ingredients for the amount of urine that I had, you're supposed to add like fucking three little droplets. But I'm so nervous, I quake this thing over and just pour half the vial into this shit. It starts fizzing up. It looked like my urine was fucking nuclear at this point, but I'm like, all right, it'll calm down. It'll calm down. So I cap it up, give my mom the test, and I'm like, all right, I did it. You know, this thing's gonna destroy. To my mind, I figured the more I poured in, the more shit it would kill, right? Why not? So I hand her the jar. She works at a doctor's office. She's gonna be having it done right at work. Hours
Oh,
later.
wow.
So I go to school and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I think I actually pulled it off. I'm sitting in my class right before lunch, and over the PA speakers. Or wait, no, it wasn't over the PA speakers. My teacher came up to me and handed me this little note, and it says, "You need to go call your dad before lunch or something." I'm like, "Fuck, dude, this is maybe it didn't work."
Busted.
So I go down, I call him up, and he's like, "I'm coming to pick you up for lunch," and I'm like, "This is fucking not good, bro. My dad hasn't called me in over a year, and now he's ready to kill." So I go outside. He's right there at the flagpole. I get in, and he's like, "So we got a problem." He goes, "Either you have the liver of a 90-year-old man, or you added something to your urine this morning." And I just told him, I go, "Fuck it, man." I go, "Yup." I go, "I was smoking bud. I just came." He started off all mad, and he's like, "We're going to your house to get your clothes. You're moving in with me." So this threat really did fucking work on me. Like I said, he lived out in Mount Clemens, so it'd be a new school, new house. He has a new wife with my step siblings, or my half siblings, which they're really good people. It's not that. It's just a whole new life. You know what I'm saying? You're changing families essentially. So I was shitting my pants. Plus, I worked so hard to climb up the ranks, man. I'm just starting to peek into the popularity, girls and shit, the whole 9 yards. Because let's not lie, Grosse Pointe schools had the pick of the litter. Because all the moms married the rich dudes, and the moms were all hot. So the girls at the school, my cousin came in from Fraser, and I took him to one party, and he fell in love with like 3 chicks, dude. He's like, "What the hell? I can't believe how many hot girls are here." But it
Oh,
really was
yeah.
different, man. It was a
Yeah.
different level.
I will say this though, hindsight, and you can't see it as a kid because all those thoughts are going through your head. I'm just gaining steam here. I'm getting popular or whatever. I like this girl, whatever. But a change of pace and bringing that knowledge somewhere new could have been. I always thought for myself too with those threats could have been deadly. Like show up in
Yeah.
Mount Clemens just king out of Grosse Pointe. Just that's how shit works now.
Yeah, but it's tough. Like, you know how people say, like, if you go on a date with someone, if you can like be around your family or your friends, you can actually your real personality comes out. You're a lot more comfortable and stuff. I don't know. For me, it took me a while to get comfortable, especially with my friends like Sick Boy and Mexicano. All these guys, like we were building up something. We're gonna keep these high school stories flowing. But anyways, my dad drives me back to the house, and he was like, when I got in the car, he was very angry. He was putting the pressure on me. By the time we got to the house, this fucking guy was like a whole nother guy. He's like, "Look," he was like, "I smoked bud back in the day. You get good grades." He goes, "Your mom's freaking out about this stuff." He goes, I don't want to say I don't care because I do care. I don't want you going down the wrong paths, but you got your head on your shoulders. Again, you get good grades. What am I going to say? But this is really, really for your mom here. I'm like, all right, I understand, and I won't, and if I do it, I'll keep it safe. Again, I was never arrested for anything. When I was like in 7th grade, I was arrested for some stupid shit. We'll tell those stories later, but I had my stuff put together. I was starting to get into music and this and that. Anyways, so we got to the house, and he's like, he goes, "Just don't do this stuff, and if you do it, keep it as far away from your mother as possible." And I agreed, and then he drove me back to school. So the lesson of the story is, folks, just be honest with your parents, and the lying is gonna save you from the ulcers, and it might save you from becoming a fucking doctor anxiety later in life like me. Because now I look back on all this shit in my childhood, and it's freaking me out, man.
Did he not want like, so taking on another kid's a huge responsibility, right? So like, was he
Oh.
having the same anxiety on the drive back in reverse that you were? You're like, holy fuck, I got to change my whole life around. He's thinking, holy fuck, I got to change my whole life around. And then you were cool about it, and he's looking more into it back at the house, sees a report card and this, and he's thinking about it. And he goes, nah. He goes, you don't have to. You're
No.
pretty fucking level headed, I'd say. I don't. I think uprooting you from this right now actually is a bad idea.
Yeah, he got a little message from his wife saying, "Don't bring this fucking delinquent back here."
My mom puts a ton of weight on her shoulders to this day that she calls it she gave up, and that
No,
that
my
day
mom does the same thing, bro. Trust me, they all do it.
my
They all
mom's
do
so
it.
negative about that day, about that I didn't come home with her, and that's the route they went. She said you probably would have learned either way. I don't think moving to your dad's did much difference. You were on your own path as was, and I don't. That was a growing up experience for myself, unfortunately, at my parents' expense. So
Hmm.
I never look back like my mom made the wrong decision or anything, but it was way easier with me because my parents made the same school and location accessible, and my dad bought a house literally very quickly, going to the Friday night frights last week. That's how we in one day we made an offer on this house and bought it, that house, and we bid it against someone. So it was a house for whatever reason was wanted, and it could have been someone else living with the ghosts, but it ended up
Right. No,
being
the
me
bottom
there.
line, the stuff that you were saying about my dad, it's like he wanted to scare me. He wanted to pick me up. He wanted to give me some kind of punishment for lying and this and that, which he did. And then I came out and I was 100% truthful with him. And he's like, "What do you do?" Because my mom, like the tests at her work, I looked at the test, man. This shit was coke. It was every drug imaginable. It wasn't just for fucking cannabis. It was every drug. So the only thing that showed up on there was cannabis. My dad knows I'm not doing coke or acid or fucking ecstasy or any of that shit. I mean, is really pot really that bad? And now society's accepting it. So come on,
No,
folks.
and it's a sign of street smarts too, because like you said, it wasn't just nobody's just walking down the street with shit you add to urine to take weed off a test. You had to really do some research to get it. You had to then pony up and get it.
Yeah, till I
As a
quaked into the fucking, until I added just a little bit too much.
as a weird future salesman father, and I play a dad role to my girlfriend's two kids. She told me a little while ago that her daughter got caught cheating at school,
Mhm.
and I said, "Oh shit, what'd she do?" Well, she copied word for word what uh, her grandma had wrote or something like that. I said, "What?" So when I saw her, I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I know." I go, "If you're gonna cheat, you got to be street smart enough to get away with it.
Right.
Like, tell me the story where you're winning. Don't tell me the story where you copied it so exact." I go, "Let me show you something here." And Ashley got so mad because I was showing
Of
her
course, that's what the
how the beginning of this was a great idea, but you did it too perfect. Okay, you're gonna have to you gotta change it just a little bit here. Let me show you. But I
uh-huh.
guess my applause to your dad is on that car ride home. He started once you admitted it, my brain would start going to this kid's pretty fucking smart. Holy shit, he's
Right.
fucking 15. He's going to get shit to fake a urine test. Then he had the balls to do it. My brain would go in that way too, and it would really start calming me down. Where I go, my son's pretty fucking smart. It's only weed. Let's
Right.
be
Yeah. Yeah.
honest.
Well,
So
I also told him that I tried to call him, and he's like, "Oh, because like he saw the call." I was like, I was gonna come clean yesterday, and then you didn't pick up, and I said I already came this far. Like, I mean, I pretty much opened up to the guy. He's like, "Fuck it, dude." I mean, he was never gonna. Again, I don't think his wife wanted more delinquents coming to live at their
that's what
house.
I'm
That's
saying, dude. This guy's having a fucking panic attack about how he's got to go tell, hey,
yeah,
my son that just got caught smoking weed's moving in with us.
yeah. But after that, it was like I got caught a couple more times, and my mom even started to relax on it. I remember my mom would go to her counselor, and the counselor was like, "Your son's he lights incense in the basement." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "He's smoking pot." Like that was like what actually started her mind moving in this direction. Because my mom, she doesn't fucking know any. My mom never did any drugs or anything. When you don't do drugs, you don't know the tendencies of them. You don't know the little. uh the little fucking cardboard roll-ups with the dryer sheets in them,
A
or
Wookie. That's a Wookie. That's what I
yeah.
referenced earlier.
It's
Yeah.
horrible for your lungs, kids. Do not make those because when you blow out, you do suck in a tiny bit and you're literally breathing in pure chemical, folks. So kids, we highly, highly suggest don't do that.
Yeah.
Also, do not use a can as a pipe. There's fucking like fumes from the paint and all kinds of shit when you smoke that stuff, dude.
This is
That's
the same theory as it's not good to stare in a microwave, but go ahead and eat the food that comes out of it.
yeah,
Uh,
nuke that potato.
so right, so it's like a dryer sheet. Don't wear the don't don't inhale any of that, but go ahead and put it on your clothes as the final step as you dry
Bro,
them
yeah,
and
that's
wear
true.
them around town all day. You know that thing that makes you smell okay? Don't
Well,
inhale that.
those are a couple of stories. I actually think that from that dad escapade, my punishment. I had to paint my dad's garage, so he got a couple of free hours of manual labor out of it.
And then a bill to touch up your bullshit work.
Yeah, well, I did my job. I did it pretty good. But you know what's funny is like, ever since my freshman year at college, I was working for my dad's company, and I worked every summer, 40 hours a week. I know some of my friends, these kids were living on fucking Easy Street, man. And that actually brings me to another story that we will bring up next time. We used to have full-on wars at my dad's company bought this other warehouse. It was $1 million, like it's a massive fucking warehouse, but they bought it for like a little over $1 million. It was made for World War II when they were building tanks and shit, and it was a fixer upper. And guess who was fixing it up? Me and the crew. And we'll get into that one next time. But you got anything else to say, big boy?
No, no, but next time you drummed my idea up, I have also faked a couple drug tests, and I got a couple good ones that didn't happen during high school, but uh, it's
Like
stupid
four,
enough to
folks.
tell.
It was smoking PCP at 8.
I definitely have had the experience of the shakes there as you're freaking out with a cup of fake urine.
Oh God, dude.
But I'll say this as a preface. Mine did have to temp out. The luxury you had that day was that whatever you were putting in there didn't have to be a body temperature. And
Mhm.
in my story, this was getting tested 10 seconds after you walked out of the door for this job. So it had to be 98.6 or right
No, this
around
this this was temperature because it was on my body.
it. Oh, okay.
Remember I
So you,
slept with it and shit.
yeah, okay.
Dude, I was so fucking worried. I was like, I got to keep this thing as close as possible to my body. But then I ruined the whole thing by quaking it and shaking it to like half the bottle. Then I remember I was reading the instructions after because I kept the box somewhere hidden. And I was like, wow, I put in like 100 times more than needed.
Hope
This
that
kid's
doesn't
liver is either
backfire.
dead or he put something in it, folks.
You got the iron content of a 90-year-old, my friend.
Yeah. I go, I'm surprised this kid's even living. This shit was like black urine.
Well, we got more coming up this week, and I look forward to everything. I think on that note, it's been a blast, and
Been a good one.
we'll see each other live tomorrow, won't we?
Yes, sir. We got episode 29 in the books, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Peace.